in our situations today, a lot of times we are in situations where we need to find ways to make a small ensemble feel a lot bigger. This movement, maybe, I hypothesize, might be the opposite. You have this massive orchestra, and there's a lot of economy in the writing. It's written very, very sparingly. So pay attention to that. I wanted to zero on that woodwind figure, and if you can zoom even better. That happens several times in the piece, and there's an interesting thing that happens right there. Bar 3 or bar 4. That you can see the oboes are overhanging the flutes. And that's an interesting choice because he's making really subtle coloring distinctions there. He could have just had the flutes sustain as long as the oboes did. And you'll find when this same idea repeats later in the score, it switches to different instrument families. At one point it goes minor. Really subtle. It wouldn't have been a whole lot different if the flutes had extended, but the color changes slightly once you hit that stopping point. And there's a few other times in the piece it's going to come back and it's going to shift in other directions. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think every time he does it, it's slightly different. 26 is where he brings in that beautiful string line. Watch this handoff from bass to cello to viola. That is a wonderful technique right there. Can we, well, the samples are not going to do it justice, but it would be fun to hear 28 lower strings only. Beautiful way to make that one line traverse, 2 or 3 octaves in the space of a couple measures. Yeah, and little details like that is what help a piece, whether it's film music like we were talking about earlier, or concert music, help make a piece feel cohesive. That you've got a certain number of building blocks, and those building blocks are now explored in different ways, inverted at times, or chromatically altered, or used in pieces, just a couple notes at a time. But also interesting how he's using them as a pad. You don't usually hear flutes as a pad, and this is very low in their range. I mean, the 4th flute is down at a C sharp, which is basically just a couple half steps from its bottom note ever. It's barely going to speak. This is a real flute, by the way. Should be F natural. She played F sharp. You could solve that problem by using an alto flute on the bottom note. But otherwise, beautiful and a really interesting idea to use flute solo as a pad. Let's take a quick listen to this whole section at
19.
Yeah, 119. Let's do 119. Another handoff between harp and celeste. That's unusual.
It sounds like it could be Debussy.
It's a simpler Debussy. This entire passage is interesting. If you just look at it visually, look at the instruments that are playing 16th notes, because they're basically creating the texture. Climax that goes nowhere. Goes to the coda. Kind of faked you out there. Now we have a variation of that 4-note motif. Can you turn up so we can hear this very end? I want to hear what Carol was talking about. Beautiful way of slowing down the textured rhythm from 16th notes to 8th note triplets to 8th notes, and then the mystery note just to finish it off.
And you know what it actually sounds like?
Uh-huh.
Is a music box winding down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
great picture.